Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to cover game 34 of a first book of Morphy. We have Paul Morphy against John Schulten with the Ruy Lopez. So let's go over the game, and I'll go over some of the notes here from the author. So we have the Ruy Lopez on the board, and let's switch perspectives from Paul Morphy's point of view. And again, here with the Ruy Lopez, you have to always be aware of bishop capturing on c6. Now what happens here with c3, of course the threat is d4. Here with c, black goes wrong by castling. What happens is after black castles, that lets white control the center with d4. E captures on d4, c captures on d4, it kicks the bishop out, and then white goes d5, kicking the knight out. So again, we see already that black has gone wrong. So that's why the author recommends that that black go bishop b6. So when this happens, black has his move d5, fighting for the center. And then now if white takes, and black recaptures with the knight. If white goes e5, then black can play bishop g4 with a pin. And then black can always play queen d7 and choose to castle queen side or king side. So this is better for black. So this is the first mistake here from black by castling and letting white control the center. And then we have d6. Again, here the author just comments that this is a highly disruptive move. Isolation of black's d-pawn if black captures, and it delays the queen's bishop development. So you can notice that with this, now black cannot move the d-pawn, so the pawns are stuck, the bishop is stuck here, and also the queen is temporarily blocked. If black decides to capture with the pawn, then black will have a backwards pawn on d7. Again, bishop f4, targeting this pawn here. Again, this pawn is pretty much lost, so black should prioritize developing his pieces. Black makes a mistake here trying to defend this pawn. It's already lost. White develops. And again, here black makes some pawn moves. Again, this one is not as bad because it does threaten the bishop. And with this, black is able to play bishop b7, developing the light squared bishop, which is good. White decides to capture on d6. And here, again, black should prioritize developing his pieces. So knight to c6 and queen b6. So it could look something like this. Right, and now here black is able to trade rooks if he wants to. Yes, black is down a pawn, but this is a much better position. Again, and before, if we go back a few moves here, black was pretty much tied down, right, and needs to get his pieces out, solve his problems. And here, black did solve his problems. The queen is out, the knight is out, right? You can go here, here. The bishop, once the knight moves, is going to be activated. The knight can go to g6. The rook can be moved to open files on c8, d8, e8. So this is much better for black. Instead, in the game, black made a unnecessary pawn move with h6. And here, again, that's what the author comments, that there is no threat with knight g5. Remember that the pawn on f7 is guarded twice. So knight g5 would attack it twice with the bishop, but there is really no real threat or checkmating threat. So this is a wasted pawn move. Again, here black fails again to develop his pieces and plays an even worse move by undeveloping his knight. Now we see black has one piece out and white has 5 pieces out on the attack. Right. So queen f4. Knight b6, and here just the author comments that black has moved his knight 5 times to reach this position. So again, black is wasting time by moving this knight. Now 3 attackers on this square here. Remember, the pawn is also pinned, so knight g6 is also a threat. Let's see what's going to happen with knight g6. Bishop captures a pawn and is up the exchange. Okay, so queen f6, then white trades queens, and now we see that these pawns are weak, so white targets these pawns. And then now we see that also here, again, rook to d6 is also a threat, attacking the pawns and the pawn and the knight. The knight is undefended on b6. So the black king defends f6, and now we can have a little tactic here, right? If knight captures and we play rook to d6, winning a pawn, we win back our knight. So the black king does not capture the knight on f6, but white plays bishop c6. But at the same time, again, there is no point to this move. Well, again, it's attacked once, but it's also defended once by both of these knights. It's defended twice, actually. This pawn is defended once, so there is no point into playing bishop c6. It just blocks the b8 knight. So now white goes e5, defending a knight. a5, another unnecessary pawn move. White should focus on getting this knight out of the way and connecting the rooks. Now rook to d3 with rook g3 is a threat. g3 check is a threat. Knight d5. Now white trades. Rook g3 check. Knight b6 attacking the pawns. Rook a7 defending the pawns. Rook d1. Again, the real threat is rook to d4 to g4. Again, black is more concerned about defending the pawns. And by the time black plays knight c6, it's already too late, and black gets checkmated. So if white would have played knight c6 one move earlier, instead of rook c7, then black is in time with this move. Now, of course, with knight c6, then here just white takes a pawn, and white is up 2 pawns here. So for a quick recap, now the computer analysis just shows inaccuracies for black, and by the time he makes a mistake with move 29 rook c7, white is already +7 in the position. So what happened in the game, black let white control the center. Then instead of developing his pieces, move the bishop back, while white developed a piece. Black plays some pawn moves. He does develop this bishop, which is that's a good move. Now here again, black missed his chance here with knight c6 and queen b6. And again, black is moving this knight too many times. We have the double pawns, and then again with this, there's chances for tactics. And then now white moves the rooks up to attack the king. And that's pretty much it. So again, let me know what you thought of this video, and I will see you all in the next one.